Jackie, thank
Hi.
you so much for coming and seeing me.
Oh, no problem.
My name is Annissa. I'm going to be your practitioner for today. And what I want to start with is a bit of a rundown of how you can expect today to go. You guys got 3 main points, some housekeeping rules, and we'll transition into getting to know you a little bit, and then we can go ahead and get started with what you'd like to talk about, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay. I have a no judgment policy. It just means I'm not here to judge, I'm not here to criticize. And then I have a code of confidentiality, and it just states that whatever is said here stays between us, unless something is mentioned that might be detrimental to yourself or to others. And since part of my job is to keep people safe, I am by law required to report such things. But for the most part, whatever is said is between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get to know you a little bit. Where are you from?
I'm from Michigan, a small town, but I currently live in Tennessee.
Okay. Okay. And what are some things that you like to do in your spare time?
I read. Sometimes I research some things. I walk my dog in the mountains.
Okay.
Because you're in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be good for something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like going out for dinner.
Okay. Great. Okay. What would you like to talk about today?
I'm kind of facing a conundrum in the fact that I am engaged, but I currently am struggling because my high school sweetheart kind of came back into the picture, and it's kind of like my whole relationship is kind of like thrown off because we didn't really get closure. So it wasn't like we moved on. It was kind of one of those things that we just got separated, and so I guess I never really got over him. I just kind of got over my feelings that were like at the moment, you know, and but it's like now that he's here, they all kind of came back, but that doesn't mean that I don't have feelings for my fiance, so kind of.
Okay. Your fiance's name is
John.
John. Okay. And the sweetheart?
Derek.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about John. What's he like?
He's a lawyer. I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
So we met in the firm. I'm gonna say he's a lawyer. He's intellectual, witty, he's organized, thinks things through, practical, like me. We both grew up in upper middle class.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently we both went to Harvard at the same time, but we never met.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. Yeah, he plays tennis. I'm not a fan, but I go to his matches sometime. He looks cute, polo shirt.
Ooh, I bet he does. Okay, and what about Derek? What is he like?
The complete opposite.
Okay.
I mean, it's like he's a mechanic. He's very blunt. He doesn't believe in beating around the bush. I guess the best way to describe the difference between the two is Derek sees what he wants and he gets it. John sees what he wants, analyze the situation, see if it would be more beneficial for him to get it or for him to just go without. And it's just like, so that's kind of how it is with everything, including our relationships. So it's kind of hard to narrow things down because they're just so different, you know?
Yeah. So John is intellectual and, would you say, methodical?
Very.
Yes. And then Derek is more of like a wild card, kind of?
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get from them. You might get flowers and chocolates one day and a motorcycle ride without a helmet the next.
Okay.
So, for lawyers, kind of,
identify with. One being you were not even sure that this is what you wanted, and 5 being you knew this is exactly where you were supposed to be and who you were supposed to be in that place with. When John proposed, on that scale, how certain were you that he was right for you, that he was who you wanted to be with?
At that moment, I thought that he was the one. I mean, we never lived together, but we've gone on trips together, and I mean, like, we're great. You know, we make a list of what we want, we put it in priority, we make routes, we look at maps, we read reviews, everything just works out fine, and it just made sense, you know. So when he proposed, I mean, we've been dating for 2 years. I'd already thought about everything, and I was more than content to settle down and be his wife, live with him for the rest of my life.
Okay. So where do you think that would put you on the scale?
Oh, on the scale. Sorry. 4.5.
Okay. And now that we have Derek re-entering the picture, where do you see yourself now?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. What I want to do now is kind of walk you through a bit of a different scenario that might be expected. I want you to imagine with me that the reasons I brought you here are kind of weighing on you. So you go home tonight, you just decide you're going to take a nap. And while you're sleeping, unbeknownst to you, a miracle happens in which things just become that much more clearer. What do you think when you, in the morning, would you notice that's different? That would let you know that said miracle has indeed happened?
About myself or about my situation?
It's up to you.
Well, I'd probably be a lot more put together. I mean, look at me, I'm a lawyer. To say Oxford, so there you go. But I don't know. I would be more confident. I've never been in a situation to doubt myself, and I'm constantly afraid that I'm going to make the wrong decision. I would just be at peace, you know, and just be content. My family wouldn't be giving me a hard time. My mom was the one that broke Derek and I up when we were younger, and so the fact that he's back doesn't sit very well with her, and so you know, I'm getting a lot of pressure from my mom, especially, and my mom means my whole family, and we would be okay. I don't know. I really hope, I mean, I doubt it's possible, but it would be nice if we could all stay friends, you know, but once you got to the point that you're someone's fiance or...
Absolutely.
I don't know if we could ever go back.
Going back to your miracle day, what do you think your family would notice as different? Or your fiance or Derek?
Well, probably if I was sure, you know, you said everything would become clear. If I knew who I was going to marry, I'd probably be able to stand up to my mom a lot easier. And so I'd be able to defend myself and just be like, well, I'm sorry that that's how you feel. You know, this is my decision. I'm a grown woman. I live in my own house. I make my own money. There comes a time where you just need to accept that I'm my own person. You know, you made me kind of think when you asked that question, because I don't know if John would know, like, notice a difference. He's not really receptive when it comes to, like, emotions. He's much more of a logical kind of a run person. He's more stimulated by statistics than a story. Derek, knowing him, he'd probably say something like, "Oh, nice to see you're back."
Okay.
I mean, we grew up together, Derek and I. We didn't run in the same circles. He was kind of like, you know that song that came out a couple years ago? My sister's a lot younger than I am, so she listens to. She's very different than I, but she used to listen to this song called Skater Boy, and like they spelled it horrendously. But and it's like, you know, you have your prima ballerina and then your skater boy, and that was kind of us. And so
Avril Lavigne, that one?
perhaps she had black in her blonde.
Maybe. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, I'm not really into that. I'm more of a classical music kind of girl, but or classic rock. But anyway, like we grew up together, and he's very much into reading people. It's funny, he doesn't even have to meet people to know like how they would respond. He'll meet someone, and by introducing himself, he'll be able to introduce himself in a way that they feel more comfortable. For example, if he were to introduce himself to a little boy, you know, he'd kind of hunker down and kind of make it more like they're peers than I am a man and you are a boy.
Okay.
But like the first time he met my father, he was very like, sir. I don't know how to describe it.
Okay. Has there been a time where with either guy that it just clicked and you just thought, I could really see this working?
With both of them, it's like when it comes to John, we think the same things. So it's like we'll have a moment and he'll say something and it was what I was about to say or what I was about to do, and it's just like, what? You know, it's kind of like twins. But since like we both do the same thing, we both think about things the same way, it's like everything the same all the time. And the way that we think and process information is very methodical, so everything that we do is done in a very methodical way. And it's kind of just like very predictable, very repetitive, kind of like just, I could see us waking up at 8 o'clock, making coffee at 8:15, walking out the door at 8:50, you know, like kissing goodbye at 8:47 every day, and then on Saturdays waking up at 11. You know, and it's just I can see our whole lives, and that's very reassuring and terrifying at the same time, because it's so scary to look at such a planned out robotic future. Yeah. At the same time, I could totally see Derek waking me up one day, even when I have work, and being like, okay, pack a bag, we're going on a trip. What? And like the fact that I never know what's going to happen, like there's no structure to his life, it's really scary, but at the same time it's appealing because I wouldn't be able to have that with my own resources.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it's really hard when you're comparing the two, and they both appeal to a certain side of me, you know, the side that wants camaraderie, and then the side that wants to be complimented, you know? Okay. It's kind of, yeah.
Okay, what I want to do now is just kind of take a short thinking break. It gives you a chance, you know, and kind of just take a break. It gives me a chance to just go over what we talked about and just collect all of our thoughts. So I'll be right back. You're more than welcome to stay here or go out in the hall. It's up to you. But I'll be back in about like 10 minutes or so.
Sounds good. I need to use the restroom.
Okay. Okay. What I'm gathering from your situation is that you have two really great guys. And even though they're both extremely different, they both appeal to different sides of
are so opposed, it's kind of like it makes it harder for me to choose Derek, but it makes it all that more appealing, you know? To finally just stand up to her and be like, you can't control my decisions. And the fact that I like him kind of helps. But, you know, at the same time, it's like I don't want to cause conflict.
I think it's great that you're able to recognize the strengths and the weaknesses of both people, and that for as much as your mom might drive you a little bit crazy, I get the feeling that you still value her opinion and that she's an important figure in your life. Am I reading that right?
I feel like an important figure in my family is a better way to describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom's always been kind of like the standards that I hold myself to. She's always very proper, always knows exactly what to say, exactly what to do, and the exactly right move to make. And I don't know, I always felt like she would know how to do things better and stuff. So I always kind of like listened to her advice and tried to implement it in my everyday life.
Yeah. Okay, well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I just want to thank you again for coming out and sharing. And if coming back to see me and talking some more is something that you like to do, we can definitely go ahead and set that up. But thank you so much, Jackie, for coming.
Oh, no problem. Thank
and
you.
seeing me.